Alright, I haven't done this for a while, so it's time for a coffee and a smoke with Fergus. And one of the most recent times I was at Cafetto, Danny told me that he really liked these, and I know I haven't done one for a while. So here we go. So there's something that I've been thinking about. I mean, there's a bunch of things, but what I've been thinking about recently, it's like basically a method. Now, this is specifically for sending energy, like healing energy or messages or whatever, back in time. And it uses Starlight. Um, so it only works for anything that is 4 years in the past or before, and that is because our nearest star is 4 light years away. So let's say that you wanted to send some healing to someone or to yourself or a fucking message somewhere back in time. So Alpha Centauri is around 4 light years away from here, which means that when you see Alpha Centauri, that light that you're seeing is literally from the past. It's literally from 4 years ago. So if you wanted to link to that time, that starlight was from that time. So it's a direct link. It's like an anchor point, right? Um, so in the specific case of Alpha Centauri, you can only see it from the southern hemisphere. Now, if you were serious about it and you wanted to send this healing energy or whatever, right? And you live in the northern hemisphere, you would also have to travel to the southern hemisphere to see Alpha Centauri, which would make the energy that much more powerful because it would not only be like this healing ritual, it would also be a sacred journey, right? Now, I'm making a list of the stars that are, you know, within like a lifetime span. And in the northern hemisphere, so we have Sirius, which is the brightest star in the northern hemisphere. That's like 8.7 light years away. So, 8 to 9 years, then you could focus on Sirius. Now, in the summer, in the northern hemisphere, Altair is part of the summer triangle, and that's 16.7 light years. So, if you're trying to send energy back to that time, and Vega, which is like, for some reason, I connect this star to the goddess, but that is 25 light years away. So if you wanted to send energy back to that time, then you could focus on the star Vega and then do your thing, like send the energy. This would be really helpful for like a Reiki healer or something like that. And the cool thing is, like the Pleiades star cluster is 444 light years away. And it's amazing. So if you haven't spent any time looking at the Pleiades, it's in the constellation of Taurus, which I think is the coolest constellation. But like with binoculars or a telescope, just look at the Pleiades because it's fucking cool. But you can do generational healing with the stars that are farther away. And with a cluster as potent and like powerful as the Pleiades are, um, that seems like a pretty good idea. And it's also 444, like it's 444 light years away. So, anyway, this is what I've been thinking about. And it's like a different system. Using these anchor points of starlight, I think, would be like throwing gas on a fire as far as any sort of healing energy that you would be sending or messages, like you could send messages to yourself or other people or whatever. But that is what I've been thinking about lately. And I'm just slowly making a chart, where if someone's like, okay, I want to send something 20 years back, then being able to find that star, you know, but it would require being out at night and looking at these stars. But if you haven't done that, you know, I really think you should because it's fucking amazing. But that is what I've been thinking about lately. And as I see these different points in the night sky, especially along the plane of the ecliptic, and as the planets and like the moon and the sun, they move through this stripe, right? And that's where all the zodiac constellations are. But there's a couple points that seem to be gateways, and also paying attention to when the planets move through these different gateways. I've only really found two of them so far that like are just straight up gateways. One of them is the Pleiades and Aldebaran, which I recently found out is actually called the Golden Gate of the Ecliptic. Makes sense to me because when Mars went through there, you know, like last year, I felt it. And then it like Mars reversed and went back toward it, you know, it was super cool. But there's another one right at the end of Gemini. It's Castor and Pollux. It's the two heads of the Gemini constellation. And the planets, they move right through there, you know? So it's another obvious gateway. When you see the things move through there, it feels like something. So I'm trying to identify these different gateways, and but just working with the energy of the stars, literally the starlight, which is a direct anchor point and connection to the past. And yeah, I'm I'm calling my system astronomology. But yeah, that's what we have. And hopefully the day finds you well. Peace.